Talking with Chuck Esposito here about everything going on in the NFL and beyond. Chuck is the director of the Racing Sportsbook out there at Sunset Station in Las Vegas. And Chuck, obviously it's devastating for Raider fans knowing that Derek Carr is gone with that broken tibia, undergoing surgery, of course. It's got to be devastating news if you had the Raiders as maybe your Super Bowl pick and doing those future plays. How has the movement affected the Raiders and their fans since this injury to Derek Carr?
Well, it is. It's devastating. I think the Raiders are one of the more popular teams. We generated so much action and interest on them this year for a number of reasons, both on and off the field here in Vegas. They're 6-1 on the road this year. They have been the darling of the bettors, and I am a little surprised the number has come down from 2.5 to 1. But I think it's just the power of the Raiders right now, and they're still a really good team. It's going to be tough, of course, to win it all without David Carr, but early action has been on the Raiders. I think the only team in the league that has a better road record than them right now is the New England Patriots that sit at 7-0. So they're a really good road team at 6-1. I think them and the Cowboys both were 6-1 on the road this year. So they play well away from home. I think it's kind of a playoff game for Denver, knowing you're the defending champs and you're not going to make the playoffs this year. They talked about switching quarterbacks and maybe going to Paxton Lynch, but Simeon's going to start. I think you still see Lynch, but huge game to both these teams. I think Denver wanting to just to build off some of these young kids. And you have to remember, if the Raiders lose this game and the Chiefs win, they go from the number 2 seed to the number 5 seed. So big drop off if they lose. So a lot of motivation for the Raiders, and I think that's why you've seen that number drop a little bit.
Chuck, you mentioned the Chiefs. Are they now the chic pick because the Raiders were before Derek Carr's injury? Are the Chiefs now the chic pick to try to beat New England if you had to take a futures to get to the Super Bowl out of the AFC?
I think there's 2 teams in the AFC that really stand out. One's Pittsburgh and one's Kansas City. We know Kansas City sometimes has trouble scoring. We know Pittsburgh can score a lot and sometimes has trouble stopping the other team from scoring. But I think just with one game, those 2 teams could be dangerous in that one-game spot. We know the weapons the Steelers have in Roethlisberger and Brown and Bell. I think they can beat anybody on any given day. Nobody probably wants to play them in the playoffs. The Chiefs, good special teams, good defense, not sexy or exciting offensively, but they're still a really good team as well. So I think those are the 2 teams in the AFC that really stand out right now, especially with the injury to Carr for the Raiders.
He is Chuck Esposito, the director of the Racing Sportsbook out there at Sunset Station. Great information as always, Chuck.
Thanks, Dave.